Very cool. So, Frank, what's our first topic?
Well, our first topic is going to be what exactly is an escape room? How is an escape room defined? A lot of different companies have different philosophies on this, and certainly when escape rooms started, they were in a different place than they are now.
Right.
There has definitely been an evolution. Anybody else can jump in anytime. I mean, I could keep talking, but...
Keep talking, Frank. We love hearing your voice.
All right, well, first thing, escape rooms really started as the kind of basic scenario that you're locked in a room. This is what really makes, an escape room. One room, you're locked in, get out.
Right.
Over time, I mean, that was good for what it was, but over time, as everything does, it has to change. It has to get more elaborate. When we came in, we made the conscious decision to not go that route, to try to open things up a little bit, make it multiple room, have a story involved so that you have a purpose other than just getting out. And we've really tried to carry that through, and we've really tried to make more immersive environments beyond the what do they call it? Stage 1, phase 1. What did they used to call it?
Oh, what was that word that they always used? Gen 1.
Gen 1. Beyond
Gen 1.
the it's more, that's kind of like an inside industry term, but Gen 1 escape rooms that were the office, you're locked in, get out. We tried to go beyond that right from the beginning. And so it's led to the more immersive environments, the more immersive missions, and escape room really came to be defined as escaping your reality more than escaping your situation. So you come in, you get an experience to escape your reality, to be part of an experience that really gets you into another space. And that's what we really enjoy, watching people go through that.
Well, we've gotten some pushback on that a little bit.
Sometimes, from some people.
It's like, as you said, we had like the Gen 1 games that start off pretty basic, and it's kind of like Pong, I guess. Did people complain when they went from Pong to Pac-Man?
Probably did.
Yeah, I
don't know. But, I'm not that old.
It's similar. The industry evolves, the game styles change, and you just kind of got to keep up. I mean, Pong's a fun game, but Pac-Man's is probably a better game than Pong. So we just keep stepping up, and now we've got all like this crazy stuff coming out now. So I mean, it just of course, Frank.
Well, yeah, I mean that brings us to the headline of that is like is it escape a room or can it be escape multi-rooms, and does it lose its charm or does it lose its definition when you do that? And it seems like for a little while there was a pushback of people wanting more of a I signed up for a 60-minute escape room,
right?
And all of a sudden a door opens and I can go to other rooms. I thought I was almost done. You screwed my whole game up. I would have played harder.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you were gonna play harder, you would have just been out earlier. Like I don't know, what you really wanted to say there.
Play harder doesn't.
Your hold is back.
Yeah, I mean, like these games require a certain amount of intellect. So I mean, like you're either all in or you're not. So I mean, like if you're not gonna process every piece of information in the game fully.
Right.
To get disappointed when you find out there's a second room, that's really not the company's fault. It's you're just half-assing it basically.
I think a lot of it has to do with anticipation, and one thing that we still get pushback on a lot is delivery of clues. Now a lot of the rooms, the Gen 1 rooms, would either the game master would come in and give you the clue, or it would be like up on a screen and you'd have to read. And a lot of people come in still expecting that, and when you tell them it's going to be a different way, it kind of blows their mind. But we like to keep it as immersive as in the game as possible so that it makes sense with the narrative we're trying to tell, and to keep it in there. So again, there's a huge difference. Right, we don't have a clue screen, we don't have words across the screen that you can read. We deliver our clues in a way that is relevant to the scenario that you're in.
Yeah. But I guess the question becomes then, I mean, I almost feel like we're kind of in this like right in the middle moment right now, because we've got Boogeyman, Witch Hunt, and F5, which are still in our, I guess we could say, original model. and now we have the new QRZ and Freak
Right.
Show opening in August that are now this massive sized attraction. I mean, it dwarfs the size of Boogeyman and Witch Hunt and F5. So I guess, you know, with our Gen 1 games, it was already multi-room,
Right, our Gen 1 game.
but now, you know, like a lot of other companies started, instead of having 10 rooms in the building, they had 5 and they made them all bigger. Now, are we in a position where, are we an escape room?
Right.
With the new stuff, you know, and everything that's kind of in our pipeline, are we even an escape room anymore?
That's a good question, because even now, over the last couple of months, especially April, since when we did the big ticket sale, we were getting a lot of calls. And when I pitched the games to people, both Witch Hunt and F5, the immediate follow-up question would be, okay, but which one's the escape room?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they're escape rooms. That, you know, our Tornado game is about getting into a room rather than out of one. And, you know, the Witch Hunt game is just about, you know, solving that mystery, but you're still trapped within the confines of that environment
Right.
until you solve that mystery.
Right.
You know,
Right. Yeah. You have
your
it's
goal.
escaping the scenario more than escaping.
Yeah,
the
your
room.
goal is to solve that mystery in order to leave.
Right.
Right.
So I mean, it's an escape room on paper, but you know, conceptually maybe not so much, traditionally speaking. But I mean, you're still playing out this narrative to get to the end.
Right.
Obviously, if you leave the game, you know, it doesn't work. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say at this point, I feel like, you know, like QRZ is an attraction. It really isn't, you know, because you go into the police station, you escape the first room, but then, you know, you're not done. You're basically now in a hallway where you have access to another room and a hallway and then 5 rooms and then a hallway and, you know, 4 rooms, and it's like, by the time you're done, you're not exactly, you know, you're not, and even by the end of it, with it being objective based,
Right.
you're not escaping a room.
Yes, you're not escaping a room. You could make the argument that you are escaping the zombie apocalypse as a whole,
Right.
because you have to put the cure together. So you are escaping something. But again, yeah, where is the line drawn? And it's really in the minds of the players. I mean, it's like, yes, QRZ is obviously to us a bigger attraction than an escape room.
Yeah, I think that's an important differentiation there. It's an attraction now.
Yeah.
It's got we at least for us, we've kind of ceased the escape room in a traditional sense, and now we're on to like this bigger thing. You know, 2-hour games that are, you know, it's the length of a movie now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, which allows us to really push the storytelling way beyond
Right.
what we were doing.
And I think that makes it a lot more fun, and a lot more worth it.
it's become more like theater almost. Like
That's the thing. It's like movies and theater have tried to evolve. Like forms of entertainment evolve all the time. You know, there was always a problem. Probably anyway, when movies moved to talkies.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, is this really a movie anymore? You know, I'm sure there were people that were asking
when
that.
they did color film. You know,
Yeah, when
it
they
was
did
the
color
end of
film.
cinema as we know it.
Right. You know, and so it's like forms of media evolve, and I think QRZ Freak Show is this next evolution. And
Well, Freak
I
Show
think
is
it's
very
great.
much a show.
Freak Show is very much a show.
You know,
And
it's a fully interactive show.
Right.
I guess we're approaching more like Sleep No More and stuff now.
Yes.
The big Macbeth thing in New York. You know, I forget how long Sleep No More is, but I mean.
Well, you kind of have like 3 hours, give or take, but
But,
then the show repeats.
Yeah, but it's this elaborate theater piece that the audience gets to participate in. Only
Right.
We're doing something similar. Only there are
There's also
puzzles to solve.
puzzles. Yes. Let's not forget that there are puzzles.
Now, I guess my final question. Yes, Marshall, we know Frank and Mike are frozen. We can't necessarily
are?
figure out why yet. We've tried moving their camera plugs a few times, and basically you just have a still photo of their beautiful faces.
They can still hear us though, right?
Yes, yeah. The mic is still hitting everybody. Mike, move around. We got Mike back if we lose Frank. Now let's see what happens if we add Frank back. Frank's just a question mark now.
Oh, wonderful.
Just peek your head up from in front of Mike.
Now Mike is gone, but Frank is back. We got Frank back now. Let's see. No, very much, Marshall. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Yeah, we can't necessarily figure out what
can't do all of them at the same time.
The deal is, but we're gonna figure it out.
As an aside, is Chris supposed to be here today? Or is he covering for?
No, he's supposed to be here. Yeah,
Don't we have a new kid, Eric?
they're
Shaw?
both gonna be here.
All right. Cool.
All right, so we have Frank. Frank, move around. Yeah, we got Frank. We're making progress.
I think I could just shimmy over next to Frank, I guess.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Are you both in?
Yeah, they're both in the shot now.
Okay.
Okay. So now what we'll do is, hold on, we'll move Frank's icon over and Mike's over his head. And now, booyah, we're there. Now the only problem
bothers
is
me that I don't know what that looks like right now.
Yeah, I'm going to investigate this.
But as soon as we change to our next frame shot, it goes back to the original status, so that kind of screws us up. But yeah, thank you very much, Marshall. I actually think we just got a brand new omnidimensional microphone, and I think it's pulling so much juice that there's not enough power going to the actual 3 cameras. So I think that's where our problem lies. So we'll try to fix it as we go. But so yeah, I guess to finalize that out though, realistically, is anyone in the industry other than like the really small brand new companies that are like in a town demographic of 1,500 people, is anyone even doing a 1-room escape game anymore? Is that even a thing?
I think in Manhattan there probably still is, just because of
And I know
space
the mall
restrictions.
has it.
I'm sure
Right.
boardwalks do it too, because those are more like.
Actually, from what I've heard, the boardwalks have some decent ones.
But even the one in Kalahari was multiple rooms.
Right, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, it is kind of all moving, I think, towards that direction. So, does the escape room definition have to redefine? Do we have to now, does it become like, I don't even know what the hell you call it at that point.
I mean, it's like we went from Pac-Man to Sonic the Hedgehog to Final Fantasy VII.
Right, and there's still video games.
I don't think we should talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, we're not talking about the movie.
Right.
But
as far
they're
as
still all
evolution-
called video games. And just like Avengers Endgame is still a movie, whereas
It's just part 22 of a larger.
the old
Right.
the I was trying to think of an old movie to compare it to that's still also called a movie, and it slipped out of my head. I know which one I'm thinking of, and I can't remember it. The old Birth of a Nation from like 1900 something.
Yeah.
That was super racist. They're still movies.
I guess as a perfect segue, does escape, right in its name, have such a negative connotation though now too, where maybe it's time that things do have to start looking for language changes, because a big topic that's been going on now for weeks is the fire that happened in Poland.